Well, it is oftenly said that when fallen strikes, it's a moment when reality bites. Come to think of it, what does this mean? Might you have any ideas?
When what?
When fallen strikes, it is a moment when reality bites. What could it mean? Any ideas?
Mm, I don't think I have. It's one of those deep ones that you have to sit and really think about. Yeah.
Wow.
So ask me when at the end, at the very end, come back to this question and maybe I'll have thought
Sign,
about it.
sign me for ambush.
Umeniambish.
Well, to our viewers who are joining us, thank you so much. This is a Inside the Life Drive show. We are still on our first series of it, and this is episode 2. So that proverb that I've just shared, it's your assignment. Research on it, go find out what it means, then mtulete nini pale kwa comment section to learn sisi wote. So thank you all for being a part of us. This is our second episode, and we are just on our life stories. You just tell us about your journey, what you've been through all the way since you were born until pale umefikia. So today I'm joined on this show by a lady, a very good friend, na nyinyi ndio mle request tulete kina dada kwa show. So nyinyi mkitu request kama our executive producers, sisi ni kina nani tukatae. So I'm here with her. She'll just introduce herself, atuambie kidogo tu about herself, her name and where she's from. Yeah. So how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I am good.
Okay.
I'm happy today.
I'm also happy to
Very
host you on this our show.
Thank you.
You're very relaxed,
Yeah.
always born ready. So I just wanted to look at that camera and briefly introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you are from, and yeah.
Hello everyone. My name is Martina Ayoro. I am from Mombasa. Brought up in Mombasa, but born in Kisumu. But if I date it back to what wanasema nyumbani ni wapi? Nyumbani ni Bondo. That's where my dad comes from. And my mom comes from Gem, Kaudha. So yeah, that is where my roots hail from. Other than that, like I said, I have been brought up in Mombasa, so I am an island girl. An island girl who does not eat fish, unfortunately.
Ulipotelea Mombasa.
Yeah.
Kurudi nyumbani.
From the lake, I came to the ocean, so my element is water. Yeah, but I'm the very few water people who do not eat fish, unfortunately. I'm trying to go back to eating it, but yeah, it's a love and hate relationship. But other than that, I am a lover of art. I am a performing artist. I do both theater and film, and right now I'm just exploring different places with my art. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And then more, I guess, the more you guys will just have to learn along the way.
Yeah, watakujua zaidi.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Martina. To all our viewers, to all our fans out there, follow us keenly on this episode. This is an episode that you wouldn't want to miss. So once this video is uploaded, ita watu, just share and tueneze injili. So many people out here are going through so much, but there's always that hope that they can find when they hear somebody's story. It's not always about reaching out physically, but through these shows that we always produce. Somebody outside there gets inspired, educated, motivated, as in they just feel they belong somewhere. So today we want to hear the life story, the life journey of Martina until pali amefika sahi, because it's never easy. It's never easy. Some people get it easy, but it's never easy to most of us. So leo tunataka tu kumsikiza. Kaa tu kwa channel, usitoke. And let's just follow keenly as we hear the lovely story of Martina Ayoro. Thank you. So on to my first question.
Yeah.
Briefly, tell us about who Martina is. Your background, how you've been brought up, where you went to school.
Oh. Okay, cool. Well, I was born to two parents, definitely. My dad has two wives, so my mom is the second one. I am the only child to my mother, but on my father's side, I am the last one of 5 other children. So in total, he has 5 kids. Oh, sorry, so 4 other children, so he has 5 kids.
Yes, 5.
Yeah. I was, like I said, born in Kisumu. I have the funniest backstory.
Born and bred in Kisumu.
Not born and bred. Born in
Only
Kisumu.
born. Yeah.
Bred in Mombasa.
Wow.
And Nairobi for the better part. I always enjoy my naming story because I asked my mom, how did you guys settle on the name Martina?
Yeah.
Because when I was a child, so just like I guess around just an understanding child, so maybe 9, 10 there. I remember my name meant something in someone else's language. It wasn't really a good word. And as a child, it's a bit traumatic.
Yeah.
So I remember going to my mom and telling her, why did you pick this name? Why did you have to call me Martina? I really hate this name. Did you know this name means this in someone else's language? And she was like, no, I wasn't thinking of someone else's language. I was thinking to honor her late uncle, who was called Martina Ayoro. And so I was named after him. For my naming story is a whole nother story. So since I was told briefly, I'll not tap into that. But I was a very cheeky girl, very naughty.
And still you are.
Still, yeah. I was definitely punished a lot. I'm very extroverted, so I'm very bubbly, very social. I don't mind making new friends. That's like one of my superpowers. I'm always going somewhere. I'm very allergic to silence. So even from a young age, I was very ready to just tap into other kids and just play around with them. There's a time my mom once told me I got ringworms, mashilingi. Juu ya kucheza na watoto na kuwashika, you intermingle, you don't even know, so so yeah, so before I had to come home one day and my hair had to be chopped off, all of it, because I have ringworms. So I was that kid. Something just had to be going on. There was never a dull moment with me as a kid. I went to Busy Bee. Oh wait, sorry. So my mom at some point was studying in Sweden. So for the better part of, from at least 2 years, I stayed with my grandmother in Nairobi, South B. I went to Moi Educational Point for my kindergarten or those young classes. And then I remember just growing in South B was a bit different. So my grandma, in the city, there's no shamba, but in my grandma's backyard, she used to plant maize and stuff.
Some small garden.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a small garden because it was
a big one.
Not really big, but it's just a sizable space for maize to grow. And she had chicken.
And that's South B.
Yes, that's South B. And it was just a good experience to have. I always have a fear of chicken till today. I can eat them. Chicken is my favorite meal. I am a die-hard fan of chicken, but when it comes to the live ones, sijui shika moja, I cannot shika. Siko. Call me when you want us to pluck the feathers, but don't call me when we are about to shika and slaughter. I'm too scared of chicken for some reason. And that was since I was young. So when my mom came back to Kenya, she decided that, she wants to raise me as well. So when she moved to Mombasa, I moved to Mombasa with her, and that's how I started living in Mombasa.
That was which year?
Oh wow, I can't remember. I'll be lying. And I was young, Barry. I was young. I was not even. I didn't even know whether we're in the 1990s or 2000. I just know I was existing, to be very honest. But I moved to Mombasa with my mom, and coming here, I had already started schooling in Nairobi. But then when I came here, when they were looking for a school, Busy Bee told them I'll have to go a class behind. Yeah. So I did. So I actually started now my kindergarten like officially again in Busy Bee, which was interesting. It was a day school. Tulikuwa tunaishi high level, which are my KPA houses. So I was living in an estate.
Wow.
Yeah, I moved from South B,
Unakula
which was
soft
an
life.
estate. Then I went to another estate. What was life there like? I was definitely the girl who used to play with all the boys. Yeah. So if there were no boys around, then I didn't see the need of playing.
Wasichana.
I mean, I played with other girls, but
Lakini
it was good when there were boys around because the boys would bully us and we'd bully them back. And it was.
hebu ambia watu kwanza wajue importance ya wanaume kwa society.
Men are our kings, so our kings are important. I mean, we're only two people in this world, male and female. So after them, I don't know what else you want to interact with. Yeah. So.
Leo mmesikia mnatuchallengingi sana. Actually the ladies sana.
Yeah. So definitely playful. I was not a bad student in school. I was really bright for my younger years. Let me speak for that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
Ukiwa
just.
pale chini,
Or maybe it was easier in class 1 and 2 to just be a bright student.
the foundation
Was good. I don't know.
Nakuja kujua nini ilifanyika.
Yeah. But then, like I said, I was a very naughty girl. So I did get into a lot of trouble in school and at home. And I think my mom is very strict. She still is. So for her, she felt like at some point, I don't want to do something that a parent shouldn't do to a young girl. And for me, in my young age, I just didn't understand why someone should be controlling or why do we need rules. I was always that kid who felt like we don't need rules, we don't need to be told keep quiet. Yeah, like why should I come back home early? You know, but then you grow up or you later learn in life that it's for your own good. The world is a dangerous place for everyone.
When you start adulting.
When you start adulting is when you realize, oh, by the way, So from class 2, I think my mom just said it is enough. And she decided to take me to boarding school.
At class 2?
So I went to boarding school in class 3.
Class 3.
And I went to Mutungoni Academy in Athi River. And Athi River iko side za Ukambani. Yeah. Athi River is actually like just the outskirts of Nairobi, but New Kambani. So that was a whole new... wow.
New environment. The lifestyle will change.
Yes, I remember the day I was being taken to school. I was very excited because I felt like finally I will not have my mom around to tell me to do this and that.
And it was also an adventure.
So it was very adventurous for me. In fact, I remember I didn't sleep well the previous night. I was just excited I'm going to boarding. I told all my Mombasa friends. I think it didn't hit me.
Kumbe unaendea shida.
I told everyone, I'm going. You guys are not seeing me again. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Now the journey there. It was far, first of all.
Yeah, it's very far.
Yeah, so...
From Mombasa.
From Mombasa, then you get to Nairobi, and then from Nairobi now you make your journey to Athi River. So Athi River is like outskirts. So it's like you leave the main road, and then now maybe right now the road is better, but those days the road was just maram, and it was just like bumpy. And I was sitting in the car like this. I'm looking at my mom and dad. I'm thinking, okay, hamunitaki ama where are you guys taking me? Because hatufiki pia ishule iko mbali. So I'm thinking, gosh, are you guys sending me off for good? I get to the school. The school was run by Robert Mbui, who is currently the MP of Kaviani right now. Those days, he is the grandson of, forgotten the guy's name, but I know he served in the military. And let me tell you, the way he ran that school, it's like we were all in a military camp or something.
In a military training.
because
Vitu ni quick,
yeah,
quick.
so you know, I was there. I was definitely excited. I'm young, so the school had a way where for younger kids they were a bit taken care of.
Yeah.
Not hambembelezi, you're just taken care
Taken
of.
care of.
Yeah.
Lakini umekula hard life kama
Yeah,
kila mtu.
everyone. That was the first time I ever experienced that is hard life, you know. But then the beauty of being in that school was I interacted with different students. That was the first time I understood that there are children who are not privileged. That was the first time I understood that there are children who go to school because of people like beneficiaries. So in a boarding school and where you're very young, it was hard to understand how on a visiting day, you know, there's a child who cannot be visited because their parents can't come, first of all, because they come from very far. And sometimes it's also because, you know, atakuletea nini. And I liked the school because we had a system of course, we were not allowed to carry the food back. So you always, either you finish it or your parents go back with whatever has remained. So there was no snacks allowed. Hakuna leftover. Ati sitakula sapa. No. Ati sitakula sapa juu no. It's visiting day. No. I remember my first incident. The matron came up to me. My parents, it was just my dad and me, I think. Yeah, my dad and me, because my mom was in Mombasa, so it was going to be a long trip for her to always come for the visitings. And the visitings were like once in every term. So my dad, it was easier for my dad because he was in Nairobi. Yeah. And I remember the first time the matron was just, you know, just doing her rounds. It was visiting day. My dad had come a bit later, so it was in the evening. So, you know, had time with my dad. And then I remember her asking, are you going to finish all of that? I said, I can't finish it. So it looks like my dad will have to go back with the food. And she told me, oh, we have students who haven't been visited. If you don't mind, then, you know, you can let them have your food. And that was the most shocking thing. I was like, what? You mean the people who have not been, like, how does that work?
Those students who are never visited, I'm one of them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish you were in my school. Yeah, but that, from just that, you know how when you're young, you want to make friends with people who are like in your caliber or in your social circle.
True.
And it's not because that you hate other people. It's just easier for you to talk to someone who you feel like, oh, we can talk about cartoons, or we can talk about toys, or you can talk about the trips we've gone to.
Is just,
yeah, the same. But ever since the matron told me, oh, there are people, I remember that's the first time I actually even talked to some of the students we shared the same dorm with. And you know, when you're young, it's easier to ask a friend and say, oh, how come your parents didn't come? So some of them would say, oh, my parents live very far. Some of them were just open enough to just tell you, I don't think my parents will ever visit me. Some just told me their parents had passed away, or they're brought up with an aunt, or they've never seen their parents. Yeah. As a child, maybe sometimes it's a bit a lot to, you know, take in and absorb and understand what does death mean to a child, what does poverty mean to a child. And it was easier to live in a boarding school to know that I don't always have to look forward to my parents coming. It was just easier to know that you can invite a friend. So sometimes my parents would not come and visit me. And for me, it just developed a way of, oh, your parents haven't come, oh, come and eat with us. So it was very family oriented, very communal in the school. That aside, I was still a cheeky girl.
Very cheeky.
And I still didn't do my homework. And I remember my first incident being caned. So Mr. Mbui was this tall man, and he was built.
Very huge.
So he wasn't huge, he was built. He was like gym built and tall. And I remember every time he would pass around, we always had to stand up. And I didn't understand why. So there was a time, it was during games, people are playing. And we are all playing, having a good time. And then all the games just froze. And I was the only one seated down.
Mr. Mbui is coming.
Mr. Mbui is already walking. And I was wondering, why have the games paused? And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, why are people standing? Kwani, who is here? You know? And I sat and my friend was like, Martina, stand up. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are we standing? And I remember just this guy pinching me. And I remember looking at him and I was like, I asked him, why have you pinched me? And he looked at me like, who are you? I think, but that was the relationship I had with Mr. Mbui. It was a very love-hate relationship. He loved me in his own disciplinary way. Yeah. I hated him because he would cane me every other week. But it was for a reason. I didn't used to do my homework. It was weird because it was a border, so you had all the time to do your homework. But Martina is either
Shule,
playing,
unalala shule,
unamka
kila kitu
shule,
unafanyia
you know
huko.
shule.
Sasa, wewe unaishtuka huko home.
You're not a day scholar because the school was boarding and day, so you don't have a reason to not do your homework. You have all the time. But for some reason, there was just something I was always doing that apparently Monday ikifika, I have not done my homework. So I remember from all the way from class 3 to I think class 7, it was always
your primary level in that school.
Yes.
You never transferred?
I never transferred.
With Mr. Mbui?
With Mr. Mbui. I remember the first...
For that entire period?
Yes. So if Mr. Mbui ever remembers, if you're watching this, if he ever watches this, Mr. Mbui, I remember you. You have to remember me because he would always call me his secretary because every Monday he'd always just see me.
Yeah.
Every Monday. And all the other days of the week sometimes because it's just like, aye, again. Sometimes he would not even cane me. He'd just give me like a punishment in the school field. Because if I cane you, it's like, he was never tired of caning, by the way. He enjoyed it. Because he kept on saying, it's like you guys are helping me not to go to the gym. So it's like you're flexing. It's like you're flexing his muscles every other time. But that was me in primary.
Primary level.
Yeah, so all the way from 2005 is when I joined Mutungoni in class 3. All the way to 2010 is when I finished my class A KCP there. Yeah, and that was me in primary. I think most teachers remember me. I talked to some of my primary students, classmates, and I think everyone just remembers me as very talkative, but also very social, and also the one person who was always in drama. I am not a performing artist for no reason. Ilianza kitambo.
Ilianza kitambo.
Way back.
Ilianza kuact drama na Mr.
Oh my God. With everyone, every time there was drama, there's always Martina there. Skits, Martina is there. Music, I am there. Dancers, I am there.
When you come and already quality
I was already there. Anything, any list that involves people talking, acting, doing everything, Martina was there.
Yes.
Like I was always there. Yeah. And even sports for some reason. Right now, I don't know where my speed went to. Maybe I put on weight or something, or maybe my legs are not as fast. But I was also in the sports, so I enjoyed running for some reason. The only time right now I can run is when I'm in trouble with the law. But I really enjoyed running. Yeah, so I was a very active child all through my primary school. You would never not miss to know who I am. Yeah.
And how about your high school life? If this was your primary, mimi najua high school ndio watu wanakuanga vitu mbaya.
So high school, kumbe kuna kitu inaitwa adole. Yeah. Because in primary you're taught about it in class 6 and you still feel like, ew, boys are ugh. Yeah, but then you get to high school and apparently, okay, so boys are the other species we are supposed to look and admire. Well, my mom, since she already knew the kind of... My mom already knew the kind of child she had. So she was not looking forward to taking me to a mixed school. She was just like, I don't want any surprises. Katikati ya term. Ati yo. So she took me to an all-girls school. So I went to Loreto Convent, Matunda, in Eldoret.
Soft life.
It's not really soft life because I think my mom always found the farthest schools from the face of the earth. Where she can hear at yours, Julie, hepa shule, you can't, because
she
again...
She didn't want that trouble every time to solution my cases.
So where Matunda is, it's quite far. It's Eldoret, and then Unona Eldoret, Achana na Eldoret. And then there's a place called Matunda. Matunda is like in between Eldoret and Kitale. Yeah. So there's a place where you reach, and then again, as always in all schools I've gone to, achana na main road. Unaona hii maram. Kamatana nayo sasa.
Ma potholes too, nini gari hivi.
Yeah, so if ever I wanted to escape from high school, and then I imagine mimi ni mtu wa Mombasa, it was just depressing because it would mean utoke huko ushike tena main road, uingie Eldoret, ujipate tena Nairobi, ndo ujipate Mombasa. It was a long journey. So I decided to survive for the 4 years I was there. High school for me, I was still the talkative one. So I was the form one who entered and introduced myself to, first of all my cube mates. And then I went to everyone.
Challenge form 4s.
Yeah, I went and told them, hi, I'm Martina Ayoro. So usinite mono, usinite ka form 1, nite na jina yangu. I've told you my name for a reason. So I was always that person. High school was
When ulikuwa ule bad girl kuliko kila mtu.
No, it's not really bad. I was just talkative.
Talkative.
Because we had bad girls,
And
but I was just talkative.
And you had confidence.
I just had the confidence to just walk up to a form 4 and tell them, yo, this is my name. So don't call me Mono, usinite ka form. Because
na walikuwa wanakusikiza ama
you know, there's a thing about a confident person.
Tunaitwa hierarchy, unajua
Yeah.
shule form 4 ni form 4.
Yes,
ni form 1.
I know.
Shika position yako utulie.
True. There's that. It wasn't because I wanted to be bigger.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to call me by my name.
Yeah.
Because I was very particular.
You know, form 1.
Yeah, I didn't want that. Sikutaka yo. Tiwe Mono. Good. No. So for me, of course, I had already had stories of how form 1s are being bullied.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I will go there so that before you bully me, just know that I am also a very talkative person.
So every time you gonna bullying.
Yeah, I will.
Watoto wakui bullied.
Yeah. Okay, we are not too sure, but sikuzi wakui bullied as much. Yeah.
Ile kidogo tu na.
Yeah.
But ile kitambo.
Yes.
Fire.
So for me, you know, I was just one of the kids who said, I'll have guts. Yeah, so if you want to talk to me directly.
Yeah.
Just come to me.
Kutafuta
Yeah, so I will not say I experienced any form of bullying in high school per se from older girls. And also because there's something about a confident kid. Wezi jua kama yeye ndo ataenda kukusema ama if she can actually match her words and do something. I'm not a fighter. I don't know how to fight to save my life, but my mouth has saved me a couple of times. It has gotten me into trouble more times, but saved me a couple of times. So the form 1s always just felt like only demo kuongea. So I never really got into trouble per se.
And time ulikuwa form 4. Did you ever get to interact with form 1s who were like you? Ukiwa form 1?
Yes, it was weird because when now I was a form 4, so many form 1s were talkative. It was like, gosh, aren't you guys scared? You know, but it was good to just also see that there were kids who were comfortable being in a boarding school. Yeah. In my time, a lot of the girls who were there had come from day schools.
There were kids who were comfortable being in a boarding school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, just from understanding, because from where I came from, for some, boarding was like a safe haven for them. Yeah. You know.
Home.
Yeah, because home is crazy.
School, home.
Because in high school is when I think I experienced even more traumatic stories with people. Yeah. So for me, I'm a storyteller. So I will not say I have really traumatic stories of family. Yeah. But it's there where girls would talk about sexual abuse at home, and it was something that you could only imagine that this person has to go home when the schools are closed. Yeah. You feel like telling them, guys, ukuje Mombasa na mimi then, you know? So, again, in high school, I also interacted with just different girls, you know? There are girls who already knew how to make a home on their own because the family is kind of dependent on you, that ukifika nyumbani, you kind of have to take up the family work.
Yeah, you look for hustle.
Yeah, either you look for hustle or you help out around home. But it was also in high school I realized that people get sent home for fee arrears. You know, I never imagined that unaenda home juu huwezi lipa fee. You know, in primary it was kind of covered, so students weren't really sent home. It was like they come to an agreement. But in high school, unapata opening day, msee hawezi come shule juu hawana fee. Ako tu hapo na ka list. Ama hata after tu mmefungua, a few days later, naona tu mwalimu amekuja na list. Sha! Of course, for some kids it was very exciting. Juu fine. Home. Hata mtu hata labda ameambia hata labda ako na receipt yake hapo.
But some kids usually forged.
Yeah, they forged pia.
The signs and
na pia wengine tu walikuwa na receipt.
Sasa wamelipa school fees hadi form 4.
You know.
Ana arrears lakini anataka kutoka.
Anataka tu aende. So again, also I learned things like that pia kuna mwenye ameweka tu akona tu hiyo bank, akona bank receipt, but ni ameiweka tu ndo ambiwe haja atoke tu. I never knew what was the thrill of going home after opening school for them. It's not like school was the most fun place, but it was also sasa hata ukienda home unajua utarudi tu at some point. So yeah. But high school for me, high school ndo ilikuwa character development place.
Character ilikuwa developed.
Alafu unajua when you're in an all girls school, and your hormones are working,
Hey.
you know, and you can imagine the only time you get to really see boys is during funkies, symposiums, during benchmarking.
Contests.
Yeah. Hapo I will alama za dukuduku hapo mtajijazia.
Wanajua.
Yeah.
Pia walikuwa
Just to know, it was tough. Yeah,
so
but
you finished Form 4?
I finished Form 4 there. Huko pia I was still naughty. I don't think in anywhere place yangu my life I was not naughty. Huko pia deputy alikuwa ananijua na jina. I was suspended at some point in my high school life.
Hiyo lazima.
Nilionja indefinite suspension ile yenye shule inakwambia we will call you. So yeah.
Ile akupea 10 days.
No.
Wanakuambia tutakuita.
Wewe ndio tutakuita. They had to really absorb it. But you know, I was called back.
They called you.
Yeah.
Because even them they wanted that drama. Sasa walimu pia wanatuchezeanga.
So also in high school, so also in high school I was a drama student. So I did drama all the way mpaka Form 4. Mimi saa zile watu wanasoma niko drama fest. Yeah, so high school was that. But it also got depressing at some point.
You got depressed in high school?
Yes. So I did get depressed. I think at that point I was still learning myself and my sexuality.
Yeah.
And being in an all-girls school, and now that it's a topic, even now the high school is going through, with the LGBTQ, it was also something I kind of dealt with. Maybe at that point, I didn't know the intensity of even someone calling you a lesbian, what it meant.
Yeah.
But it was depressing. I did lose friends. And that's when I found my two best friends. Shout out to Luisa and Rosbella. Those are my two best friends because at some point where everyone just felt like they could easily judge you. And they had their reasons. We are all young, so, you know. And you hear these words. Wezi kataza mtu kuongea.
Freedom of speech.
But where you hear the words, you hear people talking about it. You hear your bedmate talking about it, people around you talking about it, people branding your name and talking about
just want to isolate yourself and be alone.
Yeah, so there are very many times I think around Form 2, I even lost weight, like conda proper. But also because, again, also it was a very confusing thing for me, you know. I will not say I was a lesbian in high school, just for clarity, in case anyone is wondering, were you or were you not? People are like, so ulikuwa ama ukuko? I was not, but I definitely did question my sexuality during that time. Yeah, and
so that's high school.
Yeah, that was high school. So dealing with adolescents was just also
inasumbua hadi watu siku hizi.
Yeah.
Sasa hiyo period hiyo high school in that moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that right now it's way worse.
Na shida inaweza kuwa ni nini?
I won't call it a problem because as young people, we'll go through that stage. We always will. Even from just class 6 when you're already told that girls will look like this and boys will look like that, you're already questioning your body and your sexuality. And all the other things that come with maturing. But I just feel like right now, children are not taking time to understand the gravity of some of their actions. I thank God I wasn't really sexually active when I was in high school because we did have girls who got pregnant. We had girls who did carry out abortions. You know.
But I wouldn't maternity leave.
We had them, but you know, now during that time it wasn't, you know, like right now you can do your exams even when you're pregnant. Yeah. Most of the times it's usually you're sent out of the school, so you don't come back to the school. Or you sit for your exams in a hospital and stuff like that. So for me, I just think right now kids are really acting upon like, oh, we know sex, we want to have sex, but then, you know, no one really thinks of the gravity of teenage pregnancies, which is on a rise and still rising. They're not looking at the gravity of sexually transmitted diseases.
Really?
I think kids have even forgotten that AIDS is still incurable.
People out here are sick, by the way.
Yeah, very sick. And you know, people have forgotten, I think, that AIDS is still incurable. You know, we still have AIDS. And it still doesn't have a cure. So I feel like kids are not taking time to learn what it means to explore your sexuality. It's not just you going to explore with another person. It's you understanding that there are changes in my body. Then how do I go about them?
Yeah.
But it's also parents and teachers, especially parents, not being comfortable to still talk about sex with their children.
Na hapo ndio shida iko.
You know, my mom didn't talk to me about it.
Kama alikufukuza hataki ukati mungeongea sana.
Yeah, so you know, also because it was just not a comfortable topic. For her as well, it wasn't also an open topic. She had it with my grandma.
Topic iko uncomfortable for most people.
Because it hasn't been open. So for me, it was just through learning, hearing, experiences that I saw from other people. And you know, I just told myself that if I did have a child,
Yeah.
I would want them to have a comfortable conversation with me, because I don't want them exploring, or I don't want them discovering. Yes. And I didn't want to be that parent who marafiki ndo anasema wajua na fulani alipata mimba. I want my child to understand that it's not a bad thing to do it, but you just have to know that there are consequences. Yes. And preferably do not rush into it, because it's not roses and flowers when you get there anyway. Yeah.
So now you are transitioned from high school.
Yes.
To now unataka kutoka sasa nje kwa hii
Ooh,
society.
the world is bad. The world is harsh.
Sasa unajua ulikuwa umefungwa.
Yeah. For my 12 years, 8 years primary, 4 years high school.
Boarding, 4 years high school, 12 years umekatunika huko kwa jela.
Kwa kabox kangu.
Sasa unataka kutoka nje.
Now I was released into the world. Na mimi sikujua huku nje kuna joto na kuna baridi. Sikujua huku unaweza. Sikujua unaweza tetemeka na unaweza sweat. Yeah. So uni, I went to KU.
Kenyatta University, the famous.
Yeah.
Na alituambia KU hakunanga masomo.
Ni ukweli.
Kitambo ilikuwa ama
I don't know, sikukuwa huko kitambo.
Wenye wanasoma saa hii hakuna masomo.
Siwezi waongelelea. Hao ndio wenye wanasoma, so they better be reading.
KU wamefanya inventions mingi. Kuna masomo.
So I joined Kenyatta in 2015.
The main campus.
So I was in Riru campus because I took theater arts and film technology, and I specialized it in acting.
Tulianza class 2.
Yeah, before even class 2. But you see, again, it was also a struggle for my mom to accept me to do a degree in acting. Yeah, alikuwa anaona acting is a hobby. My mom wanted me to do nursing, pharmacy, or education.
Unataka daktari kwa hii nyumba, unatuambia mambo za kuact.
And for me, I was just like, it's not that I can't do them. I can learn to do them, but I will not enjoy doing it. And I told my mom, haina haja niende kwa darasa alafu I'm there pretending to listen to a lecturer ama na Skype classes to give you a degree and then I pursue what I want. That would be a waste for me.
I would just address those parents who like oftenly every time they make decisions for their children, like the courses they want to do, nini mtoto anakuambia may want to pursue this, but you feel no, wewe hii familia yetu watu watasema nini, so just address them, no?
From a survivor of such a parent who is now very proud of what I do, I would tell parents, allow your child to be or to become, because even as you look at the economy right now, and even where we are just as a country, a lot of our graduates are very much unemployed and a lot of them have their hustles. And even if they do get employment, they still have a hustle. So we need an electrician in this country. We need mechanics in this country. We need artists, because life is boring if you're just going to go to work and come back home.
Entertainment TV unawashanga kila siku, kama hakuna mtu angeenda hapo afanye hizo productions,
nothing. You need your plumber, your day-to-day plumber. And you need your tailor, for example. So if we keep on boxing our children in this facade that just if it's not an 8 to 5 job, or if it's not a white collar job that you can't survive in life, then you're lying to your child. Because when your lights go off in that house, you don't go to Kenya Power, and you don't call an engineer, you call an electrician.
True.
When there's no water in your house and hamwelewi mbona maji hayaingi kwa nyumba, you don't go to the lake and start questioning our forefathers. You call a plumber. So I would say allow your child to become, understand what also your child wants to become, because they're just kids who are just naughty. Now kweli tu hana, they're not goal oriented. So I'll say take your time, understand what your child wants and needs, and push them to that direction, so that pia fail in that line of work, then it's okay for you as a parent to come and say, okay, now try this other side. But be there for your child and allow them to become. Yeah. The world needs a balance. We do need doctors, we do need teachers, but we also need electricians and we need plumbers. And they all work together. Manake hata wa daktari kama kuna stima, before they call Kenya Power, they even have electricians, I'm very sure, on standby. So there's always a balance. Yeah. If it's not black, it's either blue. So yeah.
So just go for what you desire, your passion. That's what you go for. And I had one question.
Yeah.
If you could be given a choice of not going to school, would you have which option would you have resorted to? Kama ungekuwa na ile uhuru ya mimi sitaki kwenda shule, mimi niache tu.
But still be an artist.
Still be an artist.
Still be an artist.
Bila kwenda, ungekuwa tu ni kila siku unafanya tu mambo yako ya nini.
I'd probably be telling people stories.
Stories.
Yeah, I'm very talkative, so if you've ever sat with me properly, you know that the sun will go down when I'm still talking about something and everything. Yeah.
So now this period that you are in KU.
Oh wow, that is where I knew that in this life, si lazima uambiwe. You know, you're just from high school where you've been told go to sleep.
Martina,
toka huku, enda huko, you know. So, and you come to university and there's no one to really orient you. People just tell you, hey, uni ni poa, ama uni ni mbaya, ama uni iko hivi, ama watu ukunywa. But when you experience it, it's woo. So for me, before campus,
ukiingia first year unakuanga na goals.
Yeah. Nitasoma.
Yeah. What usually happens along the way?
Life happens. Because for me, I was a parallel student. And so I didn't stay in the hostels. That's one. And even still, my mom was discouraged by even my aunties from just staying in the hostels because walisema hostel, yeah, they told me, you know, you never, especially in the hostel, you don't get to choose who she's going to be your roommate. So you could be anyone, and my aunties told her all stories. You don't know if she's going to be the prostitute in the same room, or she's going to be someone who's in a cult, or she's going to be the... So my mom, from the word go, she was just like, okay, no, you're not going to stay in any sort of hostel. Yeah. So she resorted to, we look for you somewhere to live, which is the most exciting thing in my life. I get to live alone. Very excited. Sikujua kumbe kuishi peke yako inamaanisha unalipa rent. Hapo ndo nikajua kumbe pesa ni muhimu. Nikajua 200 ni pesa, 100 ni pesa.
Watu tutafute pesa.
50 bob ni pesa. But it's grounded me to also know how to budget. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Una waste pesa.
Okay, nili waste hiyo pesa, lakini
you are budgeting for it.
You have to know that you'll have to eat.
You account for it.
Kila siku kama unakula, kila time.
Na hii 100.
Hii 100 lazima inisukume.
Hivi.
Lazima inisukume.
Kweli.
Yeah.
But right now, it's a challenge. Kwanza sahi, you know, most campus students, comrades, most of them are beneficiaries of HELB.
Yes.
Now, HELB sahi imeleta shida. So most of them, the way they are surviving, it's very hard.
It's very hard. But Pia, I have another version of the HELB students. Manake HELB students were our sponsors.
Pesa ikiingia ni tutese.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
Lakini kweli help inapelekanga mtu mbio.
So for the wise ones, they knew how to navigate around their help money. But for those ones I interacted with, let's just say we had a good time.
So you are not a beneficiary of help?
No, I was not, because I did not want to deal with paying loans after. I did not really want to.
Yeah.
Because I also looked at how I handle money, and I said, if I take into this,
Yeah.
unless I have a really good investment into my help money. And even my parents felt, my mom felt the same. My dad was for help. And my mom usually felt like, if you badly know, or if you, not badly, if you really know what you're going to use this money for. Kama tu ni atinika unajiwekea pocket money. You see, again, campus, you're not a working person. Okay, if you're not a working person. So if you're just fresh from high school and you have like around 35K on you, it looks like a lot. It looks like you're rich. You know, you don't even think that, oh, maybe you could use this to pay your rent or cater for bills. So my mom just said, you know, if you know you're not going to invest anything into this money, na itakuwa inakuja for 4 years, preferably just leave it, because then the loan that comes afterwards ya kulipa utalipa mpaka
pesa za fuliza tala achaneni nazo
utalipa sana. You will pay for a long time. So from the word go, I just said, okay, let me just stay clear from help.
Yeah.
Mimi pia nisikwe member wa kupigiwa simu.
And for this period when you're unafanya, you are filming course, mama anataka ufanye hizi ya nini?
I think we were good. You know, before going to KU, she took me for an IQ test. Because she thought I was faking it. Alikuwa anaona niko na jokes.
Kama huyu kijana.
Alikuwa like, yeah, so, you know, it was just clear that if I'm not doing arts, ukweli too, I'll be forcing myself to do something else. So you know, it's almost like a threat when she was taking me to KU. She was like, if you mess up, na wendo umelilia hii course, you know, it's at your own risk.
So art was just here.
So art was here. So I had to guard it with everything. Yeah. So when I was going to KU, she knew what she was paying for. So si ati alikuwa analipa, she paid
na
for.
ukapiga pale hata di.
Not really. So I did study in KU, and in KU came great challenges. I think that's why I finally knew what kupenda is. I fell in love.
Wow. Ni mzuri
lakini kumbe sikujua kumbe huku nje character development is real.
Si kila mtu.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I didn't manage to finish in KU. I got just mixed myself in the wrong company, in the wrong time. And the thing about that in university is that it costs you way much.
Sana.
Way much. And it's not the same as how high school was, like you could bounce back into it, or your parents can help you bounce back. This is the time where when I messed up, I was really on my own. And I had the decision of whether I want to involve my mom in my mess, or I will be an adult. So I chose to become an adult, and I said...
You didn't involve her?
I didn't involve her. I didn't want to involve her, ideally, because I felt like... Yeah, you know, it was my mistake. It was my wrongdoing, and I didn't want my mom to feel like she had an obligation to do something. So I carried my own cross, and it costed me a whole lot. It costed me actually a whole year.
So you left KU?
So I left KU, and I did not want to give up on my art, because you know, after that it meant I'd have to do something that I didn't love. So I told my mom, I went back to her, told her I found another school. It's offering a diploma course. It's a bit more technical, so give me one last chance to prove that this is what I really want to do. And if this one goes south, hata ukitaka kunipeleka KP uniambie nishike accounts, nitashika. So shingo upande, my mom gave me a second chance.
Alikubali tu wewe ni mtoto wake at the end of the day.
Yeah, and she said, so you know, she did give me a second chance, and after that I found myself in AFTI, Africa Film and TV Talent Training Institute.
Waambie tena. Africa
Film and TV Talent Training Institute, and that's where I did my 2-year course diploma, where I graduated last year. Yeah. And that was my second chance. And I said, this time I'm not going to mess it up.
True.
Yeah, and so I made sure I worked beyond working. Yeah, and here I am now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sasa tunataka kusikia that story, what you are currently doing, the projects that mnafanya after graduating from
So like I
Africa?
Africa Film and TV Talent Training Institute.
And TV Talent Training Institute.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in that school, when I did my internship, because the school has a place, there's a time you do an internship. I went to KNT, and in Kenya National Theatre, I worked with Aroji, who's of the Bold Theatre Company.
Yeah.
At that time, it was Aroji Drama Academy. And there, I remember I interned as a stage manager.
Stage manager.
So stage manager nika to errand person. So
Wewe enda
shika hii, fanya hii.
Shika hii, hang
Yeah,
hapa.
yeah. So, but it was really interesting. So, I did that as a stage manager, but then I also assisted in just creating the stage and knowing this is what the stage looks like. And I did that for a play called Thieves as Humans, where it was a two-hander, so it was two people on stage. That was Bilal Moura and Javier Uaya.
Bilal Moura.
Yeah, who
the
is
famous
currently
Bilal.
Yeah, Moura, who is just doing amazing on Netflix, and
Safi.
and also same to Javier. So it's such an honor that
Yeah.
niko na namba zao.
Wow.
Yeah, but so from that, I remember after my internship, I happened to also meet Anna War, who was also working on something, a project she was working on called Girl Touch Your Waist. It was a play.
Girl Touch Your?
Girl Touch Your Waist. It was a play that revolved around the fishermen in Kisumu and sex.
Yeah.
So I think there was a time in the news you heard about the fish for sex and stuff like that. So she did a play regarding that story. And then I went to a place called Karishota in Nanyuki with the theatre company of Kenya. And that's where I started working professionally. Before that, I worked here in Mombasa. So during that time of KU where there was a long holiday, I also worked here in Mombasa as an actress. So my first ever play, I did it at Little Theatre Club. It was called Black Milk. That was the first time I ever got a salary, which was so amazing.
Wow.
Hapo ndo mamangu aliamini kitu kumbe nafanya ya ukweli.
Usanii iko na
It has pay. Tunalipwa.
Unalipwa?
Si vizuri but tunalipwa.
Unachoka lakini unalipwa.
Unachoka sana. But yes, so I did a couple of plays here in Mombasa. Then, of course, going back to school, I did others during my internship.
This time you're doing the plays, you're still studying.
Yeah, so it was
the diploma.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hustle. So at some point, pia hapo kwa diploma pia nikajipea ka break because now a lot of the times I started getting calls of Kuja Mombasa, we have a play.
Pesa na shule. Yeah.
So even here, because right now we are in Swahili Pot. I know I've done a couple of plays here in Swahili Pot as well. So it was a bit hard for someone to say, oh, Martina, we need you for a play. And I'm like, mimi siwezi kataa kufanya play. Wacha tu niwaambie siwezi kataa kazi.
Hata kama uko na exam.
I used to call my lecturers and be like, so I have so niko na job, mutaniona next week. I promise. And then next week comes and I'm like, oh, so niko na nyuki. Ni kama mutaniona next year. So I did a couple of different plays. I did corporate shows.
Wow.
For example, like during Safety Week, we'd go to companies like Kenjan and do, different shows on Kenjan. I mean, on safety and stuff like that. I know I've done corporate shows that touch on sexual harassment in the workplaces, especially among women, with Jukwa Arts Production. That is where I currently am, working with Jukwa Arts Production. Yeah. You have been to Art Cocktail.
I've been there. You're doing amazing stuff.
Yes. Currently I co-host the show called Art Cocktail that we do every Tuesday. Other than that, I am a performing artist.
I would just tell them a little bit about Art Cocktail.
Okay. So I am a performing artist. So I do theater, music, and dance. And I use music and dance to enhance most of my performances. I mainly specialize in monologues, which I enjoy doing. But I also do film. Yeah, so kuna wenye wameniona Njorwa Uba, kuna wenye wameniona Kovu, kitambo kidogo kuna wenye waliniona Varshita.
Oh, celebrity.
And then I also did my first feature film during the pandemic, which was the biggest highlight of my career.
Wow.
Yeah, so when COVID hit and it really struck artists, I was one of the very few artists who was working during COVID.
Wewe COVID watu wanabash.
COVID did not affect me. I will not. Yeah, I was very okay.
Unawa bless.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be those people who complain about COVID. Really worked out for me.
Ilifanya watu wakula ngori. Wewe
Yeah.
unaishi soft life time ya COVID.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but so I did a feature film, which was a very big highlight for me. And then last year I did my own solo performance for Bahari Huru Festival, which was run by Jukwa Arts, which is also another big plus for me. And right now I'm working on different projects, still trying to tap into different things.
Unatembea huku kwa society.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm still working on, I am working on different projects, and I still co-host At Cocktail. So At Cocktail is a platform for any and every artist, so we don't
whatever type of art that you have.
So if you're a sculptor, if you're a fine artist, if you're a musician, if you're a rapper, spoken word, if you are and poets, if you're like me who act, or and again, it's not just and it's not just for them. It's also a platform where you get to explore your art.
True.
So if you felt like I'm a poet, but maybe I want to tap into acting or music, we allow you to become. So there's no one point to kwambia wewe tumekuzoea na poetry, don't do something else. If you want to challenge yourself,
because pale ni nyumbani.
Yeah, so if you want to challenge yourself, feel free. So that's At Cocktail, and it happens every Tuesday at Jukwa, which is on Arian Plaza. Every Tuesday from 5:30 to 8.
At Cocktail pale niliona iko na slogan. What is the slogan? There's something
there's a lot of words.
There's one unique one I saw about it. There's something about no drugs.
It's no drugs, just art. That is not a slogan. That is a rule.
That's a rule.
That
no
is a
drugs,
rule. Just art.
Just art.
Because there's always this notion that artists are free spirits.
Yeah.
So everyone just associates artists with drugs, artists with fun times. It's like we're never serious.
Yeah.
So we didn't want this to be a chill spot where you just come with your...
many stereotypes.
There are very many stereotypes. Yeah. So again, because ideally, yes, there are artistic spaces that they will not prevent you from drinking or smoking, but we didn't want that. We wanted somewhere where let's come and explore our art, let's come and grow our art. So si kama hapo kafikiria ni base, atukam na mogox wanze kuchonga, ukingoja show ianze. So it's a place where we wanted people to come, do art and appreciate art, and even just for lovers of art. Yeah, so that is a rule, not a slogan. It's a rule. Like if ever you go up that flight of stairs and you're thinking, I want to come with my drink, my cigarette, my sijui kamugox, kajaba kako hapo umeisunda. Boss, malizia hapo chini. Kama unaweza kula hiyo matawi yote hapo chini ndio upande juu, sawa. But if you cannot, come, and then afterwards, whatever you do afterwards, do it responsibly, but we will not prevent you from doing it.
Wow, thank you so much. Now, even as we almost got to an end of this session, there are so many people who have lost hope, mostly vijana, the youths. Not everyone is having the good life. There are so many people, they are depressed, they are really battling with so much. Like they are so much burdened. Wengine wanatoroka homes, wengine like campuses. Society sasa unasikia tu vitu mingi na zina affect sana vijana. So I've heard you've mentioned about I can say this thing of art inakuwa pia ni kama ni talent. Sasa huku nje there are so many youths graduating. Actually there are so many who have graduated. Degrees ni mingi sana, but there are no jobs. No jobs. Na vijana, they fear hustling. There are some things wanaona ni kazi tu. Mtu amepata degree, uko na degree unataka kuanza kufanya kazi zenye they just want the white collar jobs. Na hizo sahi ziko. Wazee wamekatalia kwa ofisi. They don't want to retire. Hawataki kurudi nyumbani.
Akiretire analeta mzee mwenzake.
Exactly. Ni kuswap tu, wewe kuja chukua hapa. So what do you feel, what can you tell them and just encourage them, inspire them?
Okay. Naona ukinipointisha ukacha sura face. I will say this. You say people want the good life, but I feel life is what you make out of it. They say, I was watching something on YouTube, and someone said she was a drug addict, and she said the worst thing about being a drug addict is she used to tell herself, "It is what it is."
Yeah.
And that's what we say these days.
Phrase,
Yeah,
it is what
it is what it is.
Equivalent itakuwa.
Yeah, and that's something that we're living by these days, which is so sad because it's not what it is. It's not okay for you to be hustling without getting pay.
True.
It's not okay for you not to be okay mentally. It's not what's okay. And I know, especially with mental health awareness, there's this of it's okay not to be okay. It is, but it's also not okay. And and that's why we keep telling people, speak up. Speak up if you have a problem. Speak up. Speak to someone. Speak to yourself if you have to. I will say this life is what you make of it. It's going to be hard. It's always going to be hard. If it was easy, then we'd all, hata tungekuwa na poverty. We'd be in the land of milk and honey, all of us. Tukiimba na kusifu Bwana. Basi. Yeah. So take it easy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because again, when you say the good life, everyone is striving for perfection. And we keep on telling ourselves, if nikipata tu hiyo nyumba, done. Nikipata tu hiyo gari, but you get that house and you're not done. You get that car, you're not done. You get that job, you're not done. You know, you get that girl or that guy you like, you're still not done. You get the kids, you get the life, you're not done. You're always gonna strive for more. I will say, don't strive for perfection. Strive for what works for you. Strive for being at peace. Strive for being happy. Strive for just waking up the next day and saying, this is mine. Gladly, this is mine. It's not Barry's. It doesn't have to look like Barry's. It doesn't have to be better than Barry's. It's mine. With the job market, it is true. Our economy is really crippling us. Even us as artists. Yeah, even us as artists, it's really crippling us. But I will say, create space for yourself is what's at least helping some of us out there. That's why the whole term hustling came about, because you created something for yourself. So where you can, look for opportunities. Ziko. In as much as we are having a very bad economy, look for those opportunities. See what works best for you. Look for your niche. Tukona watu kama kina Benja here who Benja will do deliveries and it's working for him. I keep telling people you have a choice. You have a choice to make what your life is.
Power is in your hands.
So, kama wewe unajua huwezi taka kulala njaa, look for what makes you not to sleep hungry. I'm not saying steal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying laundering. I'm not saying do drugs, because those are the cheap ways of getting money. Those are the shortcuts we have in life. And those are the shortcuts that we're being exposed to, even just from our leaders.
Yeah.
Nasikia tu tuko na scandal ya 1 billion and I'm thinking, kuna bilioni hapa Kenya na mimi hata sina pesa. You know, you hear the trillions that have been stolen and you're thinking, hi, kwani mimi niko nchi ingine? Because where is the money? The money is not circulating. But just know that if you've ever slept hungry for one day, you definitely know you don't want to sleep for hungry the next day.
True.
So look, vijana, twendeni mjengo.
Tufanye kazi.
Tufanyeni hizi kazi. Piga tu hustle. Kuwa waiter. Enda mjengo. Ambia mtu nikufulie nguo. It's okay to always go back to ground zero, because that's the fear.
Yeah.
For me, I know that was my fear. When there were no jobs, the fear for me was I'll have to go back to ground zero. I'll have to crawl back to my mom and tell her, okay, what was your option? But then I took my phone. I said, I love art.
Yeah.
I took my phone. I placed it on a thing, just quite understand. And I said, mavitabu na mapillows. Those days, nyumba yetu ilikuwa inakaa mjengo juu vitu zinasongezwa ndo nishikilie simu. And I recorded my first monologue. And from that day, I don't think kuna siku naweza sema nilala njaa as an artist. I may not get it from January to January, but I'm always sure by the time the year ends, there are things I have done artistically. So you who is there, It may not be working for you because you want a white collar job, and maybe that's what you studied. Go create your space. If you have slept hungry once, just make sure you don't want to sleep hungry the next day. So create your space. And in terms of mental health, allow yourself to be not okay. Allow yourself to tell yourself it's not it is what it is. It is that I am not okay.
I'm not okay.
I need to be okay. Work towards being okay. And if you don't know how to, talk to someone. Talk to the person you've never talked to. Or, now that you have the internet, Google. Go for therapy. Therapy is very okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Such an amazing inspiration. Such an awesome story from Martina. And as I always tell you people, to all our viewers, mimi nitazidi kuwakumbusha, always have a dream in this life. Always have a dream and a purpose and a vision. Usikae tu like living the moment, sisi tuende tu, ni kama you don't know where you're going, upepe kuja huku tu. So always have a dream. And that dream that you have, always ensure that you believe in it. Have faith. Believe in it. The number 3 thing that you need to do, always make sure you hustle towards it. Hustle, fanya kila kitu in your power to fight for that dream that you always have. And eventually, the number 4 thing, you'll always achieve what you do. Because...
oh, sorry. Can I just say something?
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, it's just that he said that, like, hustling towards it. It's that because I know so many times I've told people, create your own space now, Kanyambia. But Martina, the space is not there.
Yeah.
And I tell people, you have the dream,
Exactly.
work towards it. Let the reason not
And
be
everyone
that...
usually has a dream.
And I tell people, let the reason not be is that you didn't work towards it. Let the reason be is that New Kweli, our country completely does not have.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot do it at all. And I don't think tutawaifika hapo. Na tukiwaifika, ni sawa. Let that be the reason. But let the reason not be is that I never started, I never worked towards it. Yeah, sorry.
Wow. So thank you so much for working with us all through.
Yeah.
It's been such an amazing episode. This is our episode 2 of our new show, the new series, Inside the Life Drive. I just hope that you've been encouraged, you've been motivated, anything that you are going through, please, make sure you share this video. Tembeza hii nini kila mahali. So many people need this message. When you share, you don't know how you're impacting somebody else's life outside there, because we've just had a very awesome story from Martina. Now, all the things that she has gone through, hadi pale amefika, you've had the people she has interacted with, kina Bilal Mwaura, awesome stuff, and particularly
among many others.
Very.
Yeah.
So, make sure you have a vision in this life and a purpose. So, asanteni sana. It's been awesome having you. Nyinyi ni watu wa true sana. Make sure you just always follow us. We'll have our episode 3, episode 4 tutaendelea every time we're going to make productions, because at the end of the day we want to impact somebody's life outside there. So many people are facing so much na wamejinyamazia tu, they don't want to share out. But once you hear somebody's story, because what una feel ni kama mimi peke yangu ndio na I'm going through this thing. Unaona tu watu wengine wako sawa, and that's the first effect of social media. Social media imerebrand sana watu. Mtu Instagram ako tu sawa, lakini ukikutana na yeye
filters is not life. Let me just tell you guys, filters is not life.
Social media is really mtu pale ameposta kona gari hapo kando, that car maybe hata si yake, lakini unataka compete na yeah, just live your life.
Just live your life.
So
maisha ni yako.
Thank you so much. We are filming at Swahili Port, and this is an awesome place. Find time, visit this place, explore. There are so much things that you can do here. You just need to have a membership, and yeah, it's a fantastic place. The view of the ocean is just there. The breeze is just cool. So asanteni sana. As I conclude, thank you so much for all our subscribers. Mimi nataka tu niwashukuru. The views that you people give us, the comments, the likes, Let me just appreciate you. Make sure you recruit somebody. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tukuje hapa. We just get to listen to stories. Awesome stories. Ikujenge wewe na inijenge mimi. And together we'll grow. So asanteni sana. Keep it at DJB.
Oh, yeah.
Be inspired. That's the YouTube channel. Comment, subscribe. Ita watu. Share hii link kila mahali. Kwa group zote zenye huko youth nini. Hata kama hawakujui hapo uongeangi. Just share the link and let people get to hear this awesome story, this awesome inspiration, and people will get to change their perspective outside there. People will start focusing on the life and just feel relieved. Asanteni sana. Till we meet next time on another episode. Bye.